Hello, Glenn.
Hey, call me back a little later. I got the security here with their guns.
Oh.
I gotta go out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, bye. Oh.
Hey, Glenn.
Hi.
What happened earlier?
Well, we had a guy deliver some hay, and I was in the house, and he came and dropped the hay off, and all of a sudden I noticed that his truck was at the front, but he wasn't in it, and the security people basically said they were going to send people out to check the bush. Went outside, looked all over the place, try and find them. They told me to get in the house and stay there and don't open the door. So I sat in the window and watched and put out my tomorrow's email in case something happened. I wouldn't be able to get it out. And all of a sudden his truck has disappeared, so I don't know what happened yet.
Do you suspect anything? What do you think?
Well, it doesn't make any sense that a guy comes here, he lives about 25 miles away. Why would he leave his truck at the front of our garage and disappear? Where did he go? Where can you go walking?
Your property? He probably left something in the hay.
No, I went to the hay. There wasn't anybody there. I checked the entire area around the farmhouse. He wasn't there.
Yeah, that doesn't make, I don't know.
Why would somebody, 25 miles away from home in farm country go for a walk? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So he must have been looking for something, or something else happened. Somebody else picked him up, and he wasn't gone. The truck was there from about 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and he took it out without me seeing it, and we were looking in that direction. I don't know how that was done. So you only had a few minutes to be able to walk up to the truck, open the gate, drive it out, close the gate, lock it.
I mean, that's like, I can't conclude off anything. It's like, I don't know what that guy could have been doing. Just from him.
His name is Orion. Dorion is the name in French. Orion.
Because I was thinking he left a present for you or something in the hay, but you said you checked around.
Well, if somebody was going to put something in the hay, they wouldn't want to be the guys distributing the hay, bringing it. They wouldn't want to leave their truck then at the front of the house and walk back to the hay when they just left the hay. None of it makes any sense. The only possibility is that he had somebody else with him with their own vehicle, and they went someplace. Problem is, there's no place to go around here. It's not like you're close to a bar or theater or shopping center.
The boondocks over there, right? Basically.
Yeah. You're 11 miles from town.
Yeah. So, do you think he seen something and got scared?
I have no idea. Somebody may have called him and told them that our security was out looking for him, and he may have gone back to his truck and took off. I don't know.
But that's suspicious where he was the first when he just disappeared. Like, where was he at that time?
Yeah, where was he?
Or maybe he could have ran off the property scared and then came back later and took his truck. No.
Never know.
Yeah.
In any event, they're out there, and we're inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been. I see that you learn bit by bit pieces of information every day. So
Something closer to what the ordinary people can understand.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I learned to. I look at things. What the ordinary people wouldn't look at. I guess because of the premise.
Yeah.
I have that advantage.
Yeah. One guy sent me an email yesterday, and he said, I've got a suggestion on how you could be helpful to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. When they stop somebody for being drunk on the road, instead of giving them a breathalyzer, they should ask them to decipher Glenn Keely's post. And if they can come anywhere close, they got to be sober.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody could fake that one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Glenn, I'm seeing other people who've been looking at your work also. They're starting to, I see like the way like other people decipher things. Like I get insights from other people.
Yeah.
Like Tom, he he understands.
Yeah. He wants to get back here as soon as possible.
That's what he told me. So he's like, "Yeah, man, you belong there." So I belong there.
We're hoping that he can make it back after the holidays. He's got to be with his family until the holidays. His grandmother just died. So.
Oh. I wanted to go there and like visit him or something in the future, because I know there's a lot of things I could probably learn just from.
He's in the middle of all of the problem in Scotland, and he comes here to be in the middle of the problem in Canada.
Yeah. From one toilet to the next, I guess.
Yeah. Did you grasp that concept of Lake Superior being the container box on the back of the toilet?
Is that a post you put?
Yeah, yesterday or the day before, I think it was.
The last post that I read from you, I didn't read all of them. I read the one on Zoroastrian and the one on the Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah.
And you were saying like I think when you reply like you gave me like a route to something. So I gotta like look into it more and dig into it more. I'm not sure if because I'm thinking that the Nephilim were just Cro-Magnon, something like that. That's what I thought.
It's more the identification of the tasks that people have.
That's how you judge.
Woodpecker works on infrastructure above ground. Scottish people work on the ground down, like strip mining and undermining things and getting into a household and working their way through the household as an arranged marriage, for example, does. Live-in girlfriend who's basically seeking information for other people all the time. And then there's the gang that works from down below, way down below. And that basically is the concept of the toilet. Lake Superior contains a vast amount of water. most people don't understand that only 9% of Lake Superior is free-flowing, that over 90% is in a bowl, and that water can't escape. It just kind of leaks out from the top into the 3 canals that are at Sault Ste. Marie. Mm-hmm. The word Sault, of course, being linked to the word in English vernacular, loo, which means a toilet. Mm-hmm. If there was an earthquake of the up and down kind, called a blind thrust, that would destroy the wall of Lake Superior at Sault Ste. Marie underneath the canal and allow Lake Superior to empty instead of just run over the top, that would instantly flush the bowl of the toilet, which is Lake Michigan, Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, and Lake Erie. And on that would probably certainly take out Detroit, and all of the Michigan Peninsula would be immediately underwater. It probably would have an effect on Chicago, although I'm not quite sure of the topography of Chicago, if it rises quickly up out of the lake and is fairly high, or if it's flat. If it's flat, it wouldn't have a chance in hell. The water would just pour through Chicago. Then the next barrier is Niagara Falls. And we know that 20 years ago, the U.S. Corps of Engineers put up what they call a coffer dam on the American side, and shut the water off completely. And they said the purpose was to reinforce Niagara Falls because of the wear and tear it was getting from the water. Well, there's nothing that we know of today that would basically confirm that's what they did. They could have used the occasion to plant explosives. Mm-hmm. And should that be used in concert with the water flushing down, they would in fact turn Niagara Falls into Niagara Rapids, and the water would just kind of burst over, kind of equalizing the water in Lake Ontario with the water in Lake Erie, and therefore you would have an expanding Great Lakes, making the Great Sea. Now, to make it even worse, since the water would be gushing down from Lake Superior through the other lakes into Lake Ontario, heading down the St. Lawrence, should at the same time the nuclear device, which has been located in the rear end of the Titanic, which was made of very, very tough steel compared to the front end, which ripped apart. If it had a charge in there, which was a shaped charge, and blew downwards, it would make a big hole in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean that would immediately fill up with water, thereby pulling the water away from the land, making it look like low tide. And as it hits the bottom of the hole, it then bounces back up again, and that's what you call a tsunami. And in a tsunami, the water bouncing out of the hole starts to spread out as a wave, usually about 40 feet high, 35 to 40 feet high, on the bottom of the ocean, and comes back towards the land almost like a wall that you can't see above water until it reaches the shore. And then it's a big wall of water that pushes up. If that were to happen, forget your place.
Yeah.
Everything on the East Coast is gone. But principally, what would happen is the water going up the St. Lawrence River would meet the water coming down from Lake Superior. And the two of them crashing together would really expand the Great Lakes area into the Great Sea, that it would come almost to here. We have to be at least 100 miles away from Lake Ontario, but the water would come real close to here, and it would come up the Ottawa River. Montreal would, of course, be a goner, except for the part that's on top of Mount Royal, which is mostly religious institution.
There you go.
And the Ottawa River, Ottawa would be safe because Parliament Hill is high on a cliff, whereas the other side of the river on the Gatineau, what used to be Hull and Gatineau, is now Gatineau, which means gate in water. It would be all underwater.
Have you ever looked into these people like I guess one of them is Pierce and Pierce, like architectural people, like the reasons they built?
Well, Pierce is an important name. Barbara Bush was a Pierce.
Yeah, he says something with
it's linked to Hindus who always had a habit of piercing their skin, putting in a thing in their nose or in their ear or whatever. And a group of Indians who established themselves out west of the Missouri River all the way to Oregon were known as the Nipepsi, pierced noses. And it was Sacagawea, who was the daughter of one of the chiefs of the pierced nose Indians, Nipepsi, who guided Lewis and Clark across the whole area that they were wanting to investigate. The Indians had, of course, lived there for a while by then.
So when these guys, like, I don't know, like when people, pilgrims and stuff came to America, so what do you think they just like showed signs and symbols with the natives?
Yeah, the main sign is the Philpot, the swastika. And all of these people who were marooned all over the world that we know as aboriginals out of the original, they were told that when the visitors would come, there would be a guy with a version of the swastika, a cross of some kind, next to a guy with a sword. So when they saw them arrive, they knew that these were the people that their ancestors had told them that they should be waiting for. And the ships to them would look like some spacecraft would look like to us today. They had never seen big boats, outside of canoes and stuff. So all of that stuff was pre-planned, and of course the priest was trained in phonetic language. Since all the languages originate from the same factory, 7,000 versions of it so far, the priest, no matter what language or dialect the people were using, the priest knew the rules of the game and could, in fact, figure out what they were saying and communicate with them within a matter of days.
Yeah. I have a feeling that there's probably hundreds of civilizations that were just like tests that we don't even know about are written, that were just destroyed, that just came and were destroyed in the past, like Atlantis and stuff like that.
Well, the key is this god of India called Siwa, S-I-W-A, which is a play on the word Sima, which is the Moho discontinuity, and Ami in French, if you flip the W over. And he is the god of destruction. Now, he had a consort in the mythology whose name was Kali. Kali sounds a lot like Keely.
Or California.
Or California. And speaking of California, another name for Kali was Ambika.
That's weird.
It's basically suggestive of there has to be a structure put together at the end times in the basic concept of a bicycle, my bike, in which the female would be at the front and the male would be providing the energy from the rear. And linked together, they could make things happen. So, as part of this 13 people, suggests that concept has to be kept in mind.
Yeah. So you said Ambika is another name for
Kali.
Kali.
There's 4 or 5 names given in the ancient mythology. Kali is one of them, and Ambika is another.
I don't know, it makes you think, man, like
there is no doubt that there is a link.
Yeah.
In the stories, in the concept of what I call an unfinished symphony. And it begins at the time of the split between the Neanderthalers and the Clan Mothers at about 58,000 BC. It gets played out in Africa with the making of the Cro-Magnon, and then there's a pause, and it takes up again after the Ice Age in the time of the New Kingdom, the Old Kingdom and the Middle Kingdom basically being in position only to make the New Kingdom possible, which to me is an entire play. It's a theater, the New Kingdom, based upon characters that are manufactured in a laboratory. In their case, the allegory is a a harem. And that harem produces all of the babies for Nefertiti, for Queen Ai, and sets the stage when it's cut short by the impeachment of Akhenaten, who then takes off for the Nile and crosses the Nile, goes to Mount Sinai and stays there for 40 years while people get to know him under the new name of Moses. He used to be Akhenaten, who used to be Amenhotep IV, but he becomes Moses on the other side. And the people that he leaves behind in Egypt, the general who's in charge of all the military, his name, I wrote about it once, it says he's Hebrew. So we're not getting from our media, whether it be religious media or news media, we're not getting from any of them any semblance of the truth about what happened in Egypt. It has nothing to do with slaves building pyramids that had to escape or anything like that. It was more the royal family of Egypt who had to leave, and all of that was orchestrated by the ecclesiastics of the day, the priests.
And the royal family left because why?
Because they tried to introduce a new version of religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cover story.
And they were basically banished or kicked out? Or,
yeah.
That's interesting you say that, because I started watching the whole series of Stargate. I downloaded it all.
Yeah.
And it goes over this, because it's basically it's set like this military group of people. They have this ring called the Stargate. And this ring, it takes them all over the galaxy, all these different worlds. And these, but like they're basically following the trail of these people that they're enemies with. They call them the Goa'uld, and they're like basically Egyptians. And and they were banished. They basically like they go to all these different worlds, and these people think that they're the Goa'uld, and they think that they're gods, and it's all this allegory they show. But so really,
all of science fiction talking about future events is really just a playback of past.
Yeah.
Under different names, but the story is basically the same.
Yeah, and they show that they made it so clear about, because they talk about the piggy in the neck. They describe it as a parasite. It just lives on people. But it's a really good series. It's actually Canadian American. So. Yeah. And I looked up I did some research on the Roma. And when you look at the encyclopedia, says they say that they were like they don't think about the future, and they really care about the present. Well, they like were bred to think like that, or so engineered to be like that. So.
Absolutely, they were made out of Cro-Magnon.
Yeah.
The Cro-Magnon in 40,000 BC were made to serve the needs of the Neanderthaler when it was decided that they needed their own team, not just the men that they could attract out of the team that belonged to the clan mothers. So by making Cro-Magnon in their own image, they got for themselves a team that was better suited to fighting the battle on their side. When it came time to go back above ground after the Ice Age, they had to take some of the things out of Cro-Magnon, but not all. Not the wisdom part, not the eloquence that was with Cro-Magnon. So you've got the word Cro-Magnon, and you take out the middle part, and it gives you the word Roma. That's basically what they were doing, and they put these people on the surface of the earth as walkers or wanderers.
Yeah, they roam.
Roamers. Yeah. They just made sure they got into every nook and cranny around so that their DNA would become part of the existing societies.
Yeah. And when you look at their language, they say that just naturally how their culture is. They're a brotherhood around the world.
Yeah.
Roma. And the speciality that they had was like fortune telling. I guess that's prophecy because they knew the plan and their religions.
Well, you look at the lifestyle of the gypsy.
Yeah.
The wagon.
Yeah.
They carry a sink around with them. They basically are known as nomads.
Tinkers, they call them.
I beg your pardon?
They call them tinkers.
Yeah, tinkers and tailors, candlestick makers.
That's what they say. Benjamin Franklin. They say his father was a candlestick maker. And I was looking at the word Benjamin. I'm trying to figure out that word. He has Amin in his name, but the J.
Amin means son of my right-hand man.
Oh. So I knew it was son in there.
Yeah.
Oh. Son of my right-hand man. What? What happened? Yeah, I'll be there. Oh. So that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, tell him to wait a second.
Okay, you can go. I'll talk to you another day.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.